Hello everyone, welcome to my class. As it is running tough time in the country for everyone, let's all involve in productive, creative and academic activities while staying safely at home. Today I will discuss the drama prescribed for BA, BSc classes. Fourth semester students of BA and BSc are reading Tughlaq, the drama written by Girish Karnad. Tughlaq is a play which brought name and fame to Karnad. It was written in 1964 in Kannada language. Later, after 2 years, Karnad translated it into English. The drama is enacted in Bombay and other parts of the country. It is based on the historical character Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Girish Karnad's handling of language and dialogue is quite effective in Tughlaq. He has chosen English to the effect the idiom of the language of character. Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq is the central figure of the play. He is the protagonist and antagonist of the play. Many of the critics are of chosen that Karnad's character is a replica of many ruler. It has become successful story. There are characters which are parallel to Tughlaq and the one is Aziz. Girish Karnad is as shown Tughlaq as a man of opposites, the ideal and the real, the divine aspiration and the deft intrigue. He was what he is in spite of his self-knowledge and an intense desire for divine play opposites. At first, I will introduce the characters that Girish Karnad has depicted as brought in the play to the effect and success of the story. In the first place, the main protagonist is Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the king, the sultan, and the next character is Sheikh Imamuddin, is the religious chief, and next character is Bharani. Bharani is a historian and he is converted in the court. Nazib is also Hindu converted to Muslim. Shihabuddin is another character. Ainul Mulk is Tughlaq's boyhood friend. And one more character is Ratan Singh. He is the commander in chief of the army. And a character that is parallel to Muhammad bin Tughlaq is Aziz. Here in the play, Aziz is depicted as a cheat and his close friend Azam is a pickpocket. Tughlaq invites a Khalifa from Baghdad, and that is Ghiyasuddin Abbasid. A only female character that is introduced in the play is stepmother. Apart from these main characters, there are amirs, sheikhs, sayyids and attendants. The opening scene of the play has significance. In the opening scene, we see the Qazi declares that the Brahmin suit is just. Here we observe that Muhammad wants there should not be any discrimination. He is an idealist and he wants to treat Hindus as human beings. But in reality, Hindus also dislike it because they suspect the intention of Tughlaq. In the opening scene, we see Aziz is disguised as a Brahmin called Vishnu Prasad. And there was a suit. He has filed a case against the king that his land was confiscated. According to the court judgment, Qazi declares that Brahmin suit is just, and he gets it back, and he gets 500 silver dinars and a job in the office of the Sultan. This the Sultan does to prove that there should not be any differentiating between Hindus and Muslims. But here, the elder Muslims call this act is a folly, and the Hindus smell a trap in it. To observe here that it was a Muslim who is benefited and not a Hindu. In the first scene itself, Tughlaq addresses the people and gives a hint that he is intended to shift his capital from Delhi to Dawlatabad. He announces this intention, and here you can see he has given them a choice to follow him if they wish. He says, whoever has faith in the Sultan can go with him. It is not mandatory for all to follow him to Dawlatabad. But in the later stage, we see Tughlaq orders everyone should move. It doesn't allow a single soul should stay in Delhi, and everybody should move to Devagiri. In the second, and he gives reason for his shifting the capital. The first is large number of Hindu population lived in and around Devagiri, that is Dawlatabad, and he wanted both Hindus and Muslims live in harmony with each other. Another reason for shifting the capital is that Devagiri or Dawlatabad is a central province of his territory, so that he could be available to all his subjects. He also thinks Delhi is too near to the border, and its peace is never free from foreign invaders or aggression. Second scene. In the second scene, we see game of chess. Tughlaq is playing chess alone, and it is interesting to note that he overcomes his trouble, and whenever he is in commotion, he tries this game and he comes out of his trouble. In the second scene, he was lonely playing chess when his stepmother enters. She is worried about his comfort, and she says he doesn't sleep nowadays. Then Tughlaq tells his stepmother that he prays God that he should not get sleep. He doesn't want to sleep because he wants to think always. And the second thing he tells his stepmother is that in this game he has solved a famous problem in chess. Here Tughlaq is speaking of two enemies. One is Sheikh Imamuddin. He was turning the people in Kanpur against the king, and there people of the country believed that Sultan has killed his father and his brother, but no one is sure about it. Nobody has seen it. It was only the Sheikh Imamuddin who was turning the people against the king. And one more enemy is Ain ul Mulk, his boyhood friend, who has revolted against king and is marching towards Delhi with 6,000 soldiers. Tughlaq in the next scene, persuades Sheikh Imamuddin to go as a pacifier to Ainul Mulk, and he gives his royal attire to wear, and Sheikh goes to Ainul Mulk in wearing the royal attire. And there was a confusion, and Sheikh Imamuddin was killed, and it was a conspiracy of the king. In the next scene, people in the territory or country, they all were angry because it was Tughlaq who is responsible for the death of Sheikh Imamuddin, killing a religious person. Then they conspire against the king. They all want to murder the king, and they plan to murder him while he was praying. In the same way as Tughlaq murdered his father and brother while there was a prayer. But Tughlaq was so shrewd enough to come to know that he was attempted to murder, and he planned to defend himself. When there was a meeting, the meeting prolonged and there was prayer time. When the servant announces it is a time to pray, Tughlaq prays in the meeting hall, and everybody, they assume prayer. Suddenly these amirs and sheikhs, as they were planned, tried to attack the king. To the astonishment, the servants, the Hindu servants who were hidden behind the curtain, they attack on all the amirs and they captured them, and many of the amirs were killed, and Shihabuddin was main among them. He was stabbed by the king. There was a general massacre, and king became very angry. Then he orders all the people to move to Daulatabad. Next follows the migration. You can imagine there were no transportation, and people, they had little bit of property or whatever they have in Delhi. They have to leave everything and they moved to Daulatabad. It was an order and it was mandatory for everyone to leave. Not even a single person, a blind or diseased or weak, nobody is allowed to stay in Delhi. The king assured them he will protect, but the consequence is shifting the capital becomes a very difficult thing. Thousands die on the way and many suffer with various diseases. Cries of lamentation resound everywhere, and there are rogues, murderers, heartless people like Azam and Aziz. There were corrupt officials. They all took advantage of the situation. There were many cross marriages. Helpless people fall prey to these, and mothers lose their children, husbands lose wives, etc. But here, corrupt officials like Azam and Aziz deceive the people, and they thrive on the suffering of the people, and in the process they make lot of money. Tughlaq reaches Daulatabad. When he reached there, he began to build his fort, a stable fort, and then to improve the economy, he introduces currency, new currency. There was demonetization, and here it was a mad decision taken by the king because he introduces copper currency. He declares that copper currencies is equal to that of silver currency. These copper coins could replace the silver coins, but because he has read about it in China, there was paper currency, and paper notes are treated as currency. This Tughlaq does for the sake of political or economic administration, but people took this advantage of this. this Sultan policy. They mint copper coins at home and demand silver coins in exchange of copper coins. The result is the economy of the country is ruined. Sultan becomes spiritually lonely. This is the great drawback of Sultan's reign. In the next scene, Ghiyasuddin Abbasid was sent for from Baghdad. This Khalifa was sent. Tughlaq wanted to restart the prayer, 5 times prayer. The prayer was stopped after the murder of attempt and shifting to the capital. But Aziz and Azam plan to kidnap Abbasid. They steal his sword, his ring, and letter from Abbasid. Aziz kills Abbasid, and Aziz disguises himself as Abbasid and he produces himself before the king as Khalifa. And he has his follower Azam, obviously. Tughlaq becomes more frustrated when people call him Mad Muhammad because there was a severe famine in the country, plague. Nobody trusted him, and his most trusted Najib is killed by his stepmother because she was fed up with his plans, and she thought Najib is responsible for his son's discomfort. He is poisoned by Sultan's stepmother. When the Sultan comes to know about this fact, he orders her to arrest. And then he ordered her to be pelted with stones till her death. This is the tragedy. Then tragedy after the tragedy follow in the territory. Then the Sultan could not resist. Barani, a historian in the court of Sultan, was fed up with, and he declares the arrival of Ghiyasuddin Abbasid to Dawlatabad. In fact, it is Aziz in disguise, Abbasid with Azam as a follower. When he reaches Dawlatabad, he is given a royal welcome, and the public prayers were resumed from that period. But unfortunately, they see due to the famine and plague, people do not receive it. People starve and they want food and not a prayer. There is a lot of shouting and crying when the soldiers try to silence them. There were attacks back and the large scale of riot began in Dawlatabad. Thousands of people were killed in it. There are true villains, Azam and Aziz. They try to escape. Azam is fed up of this deceiving the people, stealing, etc. He wants to stop all these illegal activities. He had stored a lot of money. He wanted to take the money and live peacefully somewhere. But Aziz refuses to do so. He manages that Azam is also to be killed. In general rule that a culprit should be punished. But here in Aziz's case, he is rewarded. Aziz is a crafty man and he claims to be a true disciple of His Majesty, the Sultan. Tughlaq comes to know all of Aziz's misdeeds. Aziz is a clever man and the Sultan is impressed by his cleverness and craftiness. He is forgiven, and to surprise, he is appointed as the governor of Deccan province. Aziz's character is parallel with the Sultan. Barani leaves the palace. He leaves the king because his mother was died. He no longer want to serve in the country. He was the only Hindu surviving in the court then. So he was a historian. He leaves the king. At the end of the play, we see Muhammad is frustrated. He falls asleep on the throne. A servant tries to wake him up, but he did not wake him up because he has not slept for the years together. The play ends as Muhammad suddenly opens his eyes and looks around dazed. He has forgotten where he was. The spectator might feel he has gone mad. In the end, we see Toghlaq is mad. People call he is a mad king. That is illustrated in a scene where the security guard they speak. People call Tughlaq a mad, but he is whimsical. He is a good administrator. He is a reformer, social and economic reformer. But everybody everywhere he feels frustrated. In the play, there is a lot of violence. The Sultan is responsible. He creates the violence. It was violence from the beginning to the end. There were the plot constructed in the play is Aristotelian. The playwright has flaunted the unities of time, place, and action. The action of the play takes place first of all in Delhi in the year in 1327. This play is the record or document of pre-colonial India. We can imagine the situation of the country before the arrival of the peoples. Though there were many reformers, the people would not receive those reforms. It was in such a time people fell prey to all these things, and many try to bring peace and happiness in the country, but most of them it was a failure. There were characters in the play. They are all characters because real characters because Girish Karnad has taken these events from many historians like Bharani and Ibn Battuta, etc. He took so much care to write this play, and it becomes once a successful one. So I will stop here. In the next class, I want to discuss the characters in the play and other critical elements of the play in the next class. Thank you.